Analysis of the latest match, Man United versus Man City. What I can say is, wow, great match by Man United. I've never seen that intensity from them since they beat Arsenal a few months back. But against Manchester City, that's is even more impressive the way they handled that match. I could not see a spell in that match where Man City was so dominant compared to Man United. Man United really had them under the grips with the tactics. The first special thing that I saw that the manager Ten Hag had done is putting Shaw as a centre back, which I didn't even know Shaw had that capability. However, as I've seen, apparently in the last three games he has been playing Shaw as a centre back, which means he's addressing the fact that the centre backs that Man United have at the moment, aside from Varane, are not at the quality for these types of matches, which is a fair point. Another thing that I saw, which was really good for Man United, is that they were able to have Christensen, Casemiro, and Fernandes all at the same time on the pitch. That really helped out. Even though they played Fernandes wider, that midfield had more depth, had more strength, had more quality in the way that they could play. And that limited Man City in a lot of areas because Man City are a team that like to dominate on the ball. And if the midfield park is blocked, what are they going to do? Try to pass out wide more than they usually do. The sideways, 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 which Pep Guardiola does not like. So it made it hard. Fred man marking Kevin De Bruyne was one of the things because once you get De Bruyne out of the game, the through passes that Haaland usually enjoys are limited. The plays that De Bruyne is able to create are limited for City at that space. Bernardo Silva was also completely put out of the game because he was dropping so deep in order to pick up the ball because of the fellas like Casemiro being in that midfield and Eriksen being in that midfield. One question I would have is where was Gundogan to fill up the space when the players of Man City were looking for someone to be more creative? Because Bernardo Silva was getting marked properly and De Bruyne was getting marked properly. Gundogan is the only one that I can see possibly getting marked by Christensen Eriksen, but that's still, he should be able to overcome Eriksen in that side of the world. Yeah, that was a bit of a slip up from Man City there. But Man United were very good on the break, very fast football, very smart with the way that they transition off the break. That speed that Rashford possesses should have scored four in the first half. And that ability for him to slip off Walker was why he should have scored four. It was a really good play. Second half, what changed things? Man City bring in the sub, Grealish. Smart tactic. Grealish comes on. He's able to impact immediately from his sub. He scores the goal. De Bruyne is finally in open space. But in order to do that, he had to sacrifice Foden, which is change is a good change because Grealish can be in key areas, but because Foden has that speed ability, it does limit what Man City can do on another side of the pitch in terms of use that pace against the Man United defenders, which would have been much better. As Grealish is someone that he stands in front of you and makes you want to draw fouls on him, which is a good play. However, City maybe still needed someone else to come in, as in an Alvarez, who can still possess that speed and that ability to scare defenders for a goal. But what De Bruyne did with that cross into Grealish was amazing. Great goal. 1-0 up. But Man United's grit in order to just turn the cards around, working off the break again. Rashford, offside position, deciding to leave the ball. Yes, he did turn towards the ball, but leaving the ball for Fernandes to score that goal. Wonderful play. Edison could be seen as someone that needs to probably switch up in the next year transfer market. I feel his quality is slipping every game. Hasn't been tested much, and then when he does get tested, it's not a good result for Man City. That game was Man United's best against City in a long time. It's a good win. It's a good result, and they've been winning previously. But what it means for Man City is Man City gonna have to go on their unbeaten run again, challenge for the title, and that brings about a lot of responsibilities for them key players. I'm expecting a whole lot of goals coming from Haaland. I'm expecting De Bruyne to be more open next time because other teams are not going to use that same tactic that Man United was able to possess. So other teams are going to feel the wrath of that loss. 2-1 loss to Man City is now going to cause a lot of pain for other teams. What it does for Man United is it brings them closer to, snipping the top four and being in a good position to possibly challenge for the title. Because this may be their best set of players that they have in the all-rounder group, and the mentality of we need to win, and even if we win, the next game is more important than the last. So I think it brings about this Premier League race is really great. I like the spirit. Good game. Final fours: Liverpool, Chelsea. Still, Chelsea, understandable. Losing a lot of key players, injured. Just signed a new player, Felix. Red card. But they need to start putting their run of form back together. So the next game between Chelsea and Liverpool is going to be really massive, as both teams need the points. Desperate for it. Liverpool just lost to Brighton, and Jurgen Klopp in an interview said that is his worst game he's played that he knows of because of the way Liverpool were outplayed and weren't creative enough. So that speaks volumes. This title race, Arsenal do have the upper hand right now because they got them extra points and they've got the round of fixtures, which I believe if they can clear these teams, on top of that too, they go against Man City. This is a real win for them. Newcastle possess a lot of key qualities that is pushing them forward, looking like they want to finish top four. Shadow teams like Brentford, Brighton, and Fulham looking like they can take on the big four. Tottenham still in the whips, still they're pushing for ground. So it's still up for grabs. Arsenal are ahead, but the gap is nearing. If they fare well against these other teams, then we could see something else. But if Man United continue this unbeaten run, if Man City now start ravaging, it could be a crazy tight race at the end. But players' forms, as long as that lives, as long as that gives, could go either way. So pretty successful derby this morning. For me to rewatch the replay for Man United, Man City. But I expect more to come. So good on the Premier League for bringing more hype to it. Let's wait for the next fixtures.